I'm the head teacher at Seaburn Dean Primary and this is my first year as a head. Previously I've been the deputy head for 5 years. So my job typically of any head teacher is varied. So I'm responsible for the leadership of the school, some management of the school, but it's also, serving the salad at lunchtime sometimes, listening to children read, talking to parents. So it's a hugely diverse sort of day. I couldn't say that one day was typically of another day. Initially, when I was on my GTP, I worked at Highfield Primary School in Ford Estate. So really lucky to get on the programme. It was a very competitive process, but I benefited from having done work experience in schools. When I was a journalist at that time, I was covering education, so I was really fortunate that head teachers supported me and allowed me to come and volunteer and work with them, and then that allowed me to get my foot in the door and on the course. From being a journalist, from being a reporter, to working on the news desk, to being a news editor, and I ended up working as the education reporter of the Echo, a bit like sliding doors. That was my opportunity, so I was able to really create a role for myself, going into schools, interacting with children, working with children, and I found that was something I really enjoyed. In fact, I planned my day around, okay, how many schools can I get into today? I ended up spending a lot of time talking to heads, talking to teachers, talking to children, and really enjoyed it. And that made me think, actually, why, I'm volunteering doing this, why don't I actually make this a career? And I was at probably the right time in my life to make that choice. My children were still young. I was able to be supported by my wife, who's a teacher. Doing the 4 days in school and the 1 day at university really allowed me to make that step, I think. Going to the GTP really was the sort of springboard to me becoming a teacher, and I think without that I wouldn't have done it as quickly as I had done. I probably wouldn't be where I am now without that course. I would definitely recommend knocking on doors, sending emails, following up with a telephone call saying, look, I'd like to come into your school, can you accommodate me for a day or two? I'm really flexible, and get as much of that in the period before you start your degree. And once you get on your degree, I think employers will also see that actually this person is committed, they've shown that. If there's an opportunity for you to continue volunteering while you're doing your degree, that's another plus. But yeah, definitely get into as many schools as you can.